Greetings, ladies and gentlefish. Welcome to one of my games. This is, well, me, as I said. I know I am so amazingly good at these descriptions. And I'm driving the Tier 8 German premium machine, heavy tank, I should point out, the Lowe. Mr. Lowe. German for lion. This is the first Tier 8 premium machine I ever owned. And it kind of gets a bit of a bad press, which I think is a little bit unfair of it, but on it anyway. But there we go, them's the breaks. We're here on Malinovka, and it's a Tier 9 game. It's a fairly heavily Tier 9 game, and to add insult to injury, if you actually look at the team compositions, the enemy team has an extra 2? Yep, an extra 2 Tier 9s compared to us. And we also have a Tier 7 and the enemy team does not. So this is a little bit of a matchmaking flail up. But there we go. C'est la vie. Kampanovka, not the best map for this tank just because this thing is so ponderous. But there we go. Now this is a slow machine. It's not very exciting. But it's methodical, it gets the job done, and it prints a metric boatload of credits. I actually quite like this tank. I prefer it to the Tiger 2, which is, would be the regular Tier 8. Well, there's the Tiger 2 and the VK, and I prefer it to both of them. The regular Tier 8 German heavy tanks. Now, I'm not speeding this up specifically so those of you who perhaps have never played this tank before, or might even be interested in whether or not you want to buy it, can get an idea of just how slow it is. Now, we're going up a slight incline here, but you can see I'm being overtaken by the likes of an E75, an IS3, These guys were behind us, and they have since come up to our position and are now in the process of overtaking us. The Lowe really is slow. Not that long ago, they buffed the ammo capacity on this tank. It used to carry 40 rounds, now it carries 80, i.e. more ammunition than you will ever need. I'm not even sure if you were to continually hold down the mouse button, I'm not even sure if you could fire every round in this gun. There we go. They also gave it a HD model, so this is the Lowe with all of the pixels. Oh! Isn't it amazing? Indeed, all praise the mighty pixels. So, armour. Where is the Lowe's armour? Well, it's on the turret front. You can side scrape in this machine. You can side scrape in this machine, but basically the armour is on the front of your turret with that nice big fat gun mantlet. Don't worry, Loki's just being horrifically distracting in the background. 8 degrees of gun depression if memory serves with this machine, which is not the best, but it is serviceable. And so really you want to be using this as a hull down sniper a lot of the time. The gun has a low rate of fire, the aim time isn't brilliant, the alpha damage is rather anemic, our IS3 is filling the game with his spam, but it does have good penetration and pinpoint-like accuracy. It's a reliable gun, essentially. It's kind of... It doesn't feel as good as it used to because now there are more Tier 8 tanks, there are more Tier 9 tanks with very good guns, so you perhaps don't notice the qualities of the gun as much as you once did, but it's still a perfectly competitive gun. So far, this game is almost 4 minutes old. There are many games that are over in that time frame, and we haven't even pulled the trigger yet. But hello, IS-8. There's a whole bunch of enemy tanks up here, which is a little bit disconcerting. So, IS-8 is fairly fast, fairly mobile, has a pretty good gun. The armour sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired, so there's our first shot right through the side of the pike nose of that IS-8. Are the IS-8s platooned? Yes, they are. And there's the second IS-8. I'm just auto-aiming on this guy so I can make sure I get the shot off without having to faff around and aim too much. Because in order to make this position work, I'm having to come over that ridge slightly more than I would like, so exposing a bit more of my hull than I ideally would want to. And there you can see I just took pain, although I believe that shot actually went into my turret. Yeah, you can see there it just penetrated. But Yeah, so I'm just using auto-aim here, but nonetheless, that shot bounced because magic Russian side armour. The turret front, I should quickly note, when this tank got a HD model, the armour kind of got nerfed a little bit, which is a little annoying. The gun mantlet shrunk a touch, which was slightly irritating, but there we go, them's the brakes. If one of them pokes out, there we go. Slightly high damage roll there, 320 is the average, and we got 331. Also at 1650, the Lowe gets, I think it's the second highest hit point pool of any tier 8 machine, only coming in behind the KV-5, I think. WZ-120 is whinging about people not helping him. Well, you know, I was down here securing your flank, mate. Deal with it. And now we are the pinpoint of this attack or defense or whatever you want to call it. So trying to stay down. Hello, Mr. IS-6. In this sort of engagement, you are no match for a Lowe. Your armour is decent, but it's looking a little ropey against 234mm of penetration. Ow! Hello, Mr. M103. That hurt, you bitch. That was a terrible shot. Yeah, the IS-6 armour's looking rather ropey against this gun, and his gun is going to really struggle with our turret front. So one of the things, I will do a full review of this tank at some point, but one of the things you might be wondering is, well, if you're just using it as a hull-down sniper, oh, that one bounced. What is the benefit of using this tank over a T-34? Well, the Lowe is more accurate. The T-34 gets better gun depression, but one of the things that at least occurs to me, that was a badly aimed shot. I should have just aimed next to the gun, put it through the front of his turret, but there we go. But the commander's hatch on the T-34 is relatively large. The commander's hatch on the Lowe is much smaller, so it's a harder target to hit. Anyway, scoreline is 4-5. We bounced that round on the IS-8. I bounced quite a few shots in this game that surprised me. This gun is usually more reliable than that, but them's the breaks. IS-6 gets taken out by the E-75. We're 6-5 up at this point. IS-8, there we go. Slightly high damage roll into his face, leaving him a one-shot. Now, we're on 401 health, so I'm a one-shot for those IS-8s as well, or the ST-1, and a two-shot for basically everybody else. So we do need to be a little bit careful here, but their attack has kind of stalled, and our E-75 manages to nail their 5100. I'm just trying to be a bit cautious here. I'm basically trying to make sure that the E-75 isn't going to take any surprise shots in the side. Trying to secure his flank. He is the more powerful tank here. He is the more valuable machine here. So I'm just trying to concentrate on being his wingman and keeping him alive, essentially. Oh, little 1390 is up here as well. And it really is up on this hill that this game ends up being decided. I mean, there's already a graveyard of machines up here. And that graveyard is not going to get any smaller. So, 1390 is pushing up along the top. E-75 has fallen back a bit, and I think he's looking... Yeah, he's paying attention to the VK off in the distance. So, we're going to see if we can find those IS-8s again. Or have they fallen back? Or can we get a shot on the VK? Who knows? I honestly don't remember. I get spotted. Hello, Mr. VK. There we go. Low damage roll, but I put a shot into him. He takes another hit. He's not on much health. I think he's even using the stock turret, poor fellow. And AMX 1390 has had enough of this faffing around. He's going to go and nab him some IS-8 booty. Alas, there are of course two of them. They're platooned, and he takes a lot of damage in the process, but he does nail one of them. And I'm just being cautious here. I'm very conscious of my health level. E-75 is going to help the 1390. However, he loses a chunk of health for his troubles and doesn't manage to put any damage on the IS-8. Moving up here to see if I can eventually get some fire down into that IS-8, but there is an FCM currently in my way. Who manages to put a round into the AMX-30, sorry, but the AMX does manage to nuke him. Our AMX 1390 and their IS-8 are kind of playing ring a roses around that rock. Hopefully myself and this AMX 30 can shift the balance of power in our favour, though, when we eventually get into position. Did I mention the Lowe was slow? Yeah, slow. Slow tank is very slow. Still being cautious, have now been spotted. Slightly worried about where that T-54 lightweight's gone, although he's probably run away if we're going to be honest. ST-1 KV-4 were last spotted some distance away, so screw it. This IS-8 needs to die. AMX puts a shot in, and we finish him off. Scoreline is 12-8, just leaves the T-54 lightweight, the KV-4 and the ST-1. And now we're going downhill. We reach a mighty 30 kilometers an hour. I know, we are a speed demon. Oh, 35! How terribly exciting. We are going really fast. Anyway, let's just speed this along a little bit as we attempt to find that T-54. Lightweight. No, found the KV-4 though. Oh, looks like a stock KV-4, a dead KV-4. Wasn't able to get a shot in. ST-1 has been spotted over by our base, but he gets nailed by our ASU-152. And with 3 minutes left on this game, we need to either cap or we need to chase down this T-54 lightweight. I get spotted, so we know he's somewhere over here. And the ST-1 on the enemy team appears to be giving away the guy's position, which is, regardless of how well or not this T-54's played, that's not a good thing to do. T-54 manages to nail our 1390, unfortunately, but I don't think he's going to be particularly long for this world. Who's going to get the kill? Come on, can we make it 2 kills for this game? Yes, we can! And that's the game. So, let's go and take a look and see how well we did. Now, this game didn't feel particularly special to me. We lost quite a lot of health, bounced quite a few shots, which was a surprise. You know, it was a respectable game, but it didn't feel anything particularly out of the ordinary. Let's go and see exactly how well we did, though. Despite the fact that I didn't think that game was particularly special, it was actually an ace tanker. So, go figure. We also got Unbreakable and Fire for Effect. 2,660 damage done, which isn't that much. 2 kills, 1,268 base experience. The other 2 guys who also did really well on my team were the AMX 1390 and the E75, both of whom were also up there on that hill, dishing out the pain. We fired 15 shots, of which all of them hit. That is the sort of thing you can expect from this gun, but a third of them bounced, which is not the sort of thing you generally expect from this gun, but there we go. Most of the damage we did was at a range of less than 300 meters, so despite the fact that I said that it was a hull-down sniper, you know, you can snipe at perfectly close range. And that's also probably why they were able to penetrate my turret so regularly. The engagement ranges were quite close. We received 10 hits, of which 7 bounced and 3 didn't, giving us a total of 2,670 damage blocked by armor. Some people will tell you that the armor on the Lowe is rubbish. While the armor isn't great all round, there are places that you can generally rely on. We damaged 5 enemy tanks, of which we destroyed 2, and we got 583 assistance damage into the bargain, meaning that we made a profit of 78,000 credits. It would have been 45 with a standard account, and we managed just shy of 4,000 total experience, which was nice. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that game in the Lowe Tier 8 German Premium Tank. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.